Welcome to the BSBLR Show, guys. Oh my gosh, my voice just cracked. Time to yap some ball for your 30 minutes of baseball bliss. Today, guys, stats are stupid. Signed Manny Machado. Brayan Bello voted off the island. See you later, buddy. And Judge has a boo-boo. We'll talk about all of those things, guys. How are we doing today, Bryce?
I'm doing good, probably better than Brayan Bello is doing right now, We'll get into that. But no, good to be here.
Not good at all. Baseball or blitz time, guys. Time to do it. Home run if you like it. Strikeout if you don't. All right, you saw it. Judges hurt. Question is, are the Yankees fucked? What do you think, Bryce?
So I'm gonna go strikeout here. I'm gonna say they are not fucked. I still believe in this Yankees team a little bit. So with the Judge injury, I was hearing rumors of thoracic outlet syndrome at first, which would have been horrible. But it feels like every year with this Yankees roster, we're like, they're okay as long as Judge stays healthy. But they've had some people step up. I mean, Bellinger looks phenomenal this season. He's going to be an X factor here. Ben Rice looks amazing this year. They've got to have other people step up, though. They've gotten like no production out of their catching position this season. Austin Wells, believe he just went on the injured list. They just brought up Ali Sanchez. He's probably not a long-term answer there either. Ryan McMahon hasn't given them much offensively either. It's a lot of question marks, but it's not the entire season. They've just got to kind of keep the pace up. So I think this team can play 500 ball and still be in it while Judge is out.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going to switch the topic to pitching, though. I think when it comes to this team, sometimes you think about like, oh, dude, it's the Bronx Bombers. Like these guys slug. They're playing a little tiny box for a stadium. But like when you look at this team, it's built around pitching. And if they're all healthy, wow, it's a rotation that you could just freaking dream up or play on MLB The Show type feeling. I mean, you got Schlittler, who's just proven that he is a ace caliber pitcher, but you could slot him 1 through 4 in this rotation because you got Cole, Fried, Rodon. Then you have Schlittler, and then Ryan Weathers has been good. Will Warren has a 3.22 ERA. I mean, there's a lot of things going right with this pitching staff. The only thing that's going wrong is the injuries. So if they can find a way to get a little bit more healthy, we're still waiting back on word from Fried what that looks like. He still kind of has a timetable to return, but with the way that they're pitching, they don't have to score 8 runs a game and have Judge go three run bomb every game to win these matchups. I think they've got a good enough talented roster that you hope you just get a little bit of production out of either Spencer Jones or Volpe or Caballero, whoever's really taking those at bats. But I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how Spencer Jones does now that he's been called back up. Didn't look so hot in those 10 initial games. Only 24 at bats, though, so we'll see how he does. Now, moving on to some other pitching around the American League, though, I got to ask you, DR, do the Tigers trade Skubal? He's about to come back from injury.
Man, I think they should. I don't think they will. I'll tell you why. So I've been hearing some of these trade offers that have been put out there, and the Tigers are asking for everything that they can possibly get. And I get it. Dude, it's 2-time Cy Young, Tarik Skubal. 2 back-to-back Cy Young. Like, you're going to want to reload your entire farm because let's be real. The season has not went the way that the Tigers have wanted it to go. 27-39. This is not. You got Framber Valdez. You got Tarik Skubal. The whole rotation looks amazing. Injuries have just depleted these guys, and the lineup has just not done its thing. So you're trying to, like, reset the farm through a rental trade, which is possible. But will they do it? I just think the asking price that they're going to be asking is too fucking high, and a bunch of teams are just going to get scared. The one suitor that makes sense to me, though, you're going to fucking hate this, the Los Angeles Dodgers. They have the best farm system in baseball, and why would they not want Tarik Skubal? Could you imagine that rotation?
I'd lose my mind if that happened, but I mean, if I'm the Dodgers, I'm like, why not? If you feel like you've got the depth, we know they have the depth. It's just they want to jettison it off or not. But look, my take on this, the Tigers are still, 10 games down, a month and a half from now when the deadline's coming up. You have to trade Skubal here. Like, it's a waste. We see it all the time. We see Ohtani go to the Dodgers. I mean, the Angels were out of it at the time. They should have flipped him for just something. I mean, the prospect you can get, I know it's just a rental, but you should be able to easily get a top prospect within an organization for Skubal, maybe even 2 if they're feeling it, But this is a deal you have to make. Like, it's just, I know it's tough because if you trade Skubal, you're waving the white flag. You're saying you're done for this year, and you could be done for a whole while if you're getting rid of your best pitcher. So it's a tough situation to be in, but you've got to capitalize on how good he is, especially if you're not going to re-sign him.
Yeah, and that's where I think the biggest thing that it comes down to is just the fact that it's pretty out there that you're not resigning this guy. It's pretty like well-known knowledge. So it's like you gotta get something for him more than a compensatory pick.
Yeah.
Because I think they're gonna offer him the qualifying offer. I have a feeling that he might deny it. I don't think that's gonna be really realistic there because oh my God, he's amazing, right? But that's the thing that it comes down to. You want to get something, but it's hard to wave that white flag and say, like, hey, fans, that we promised a good season.
Yeah.
We're trading the best pitcher you've ever seen wear a Tigers uniform. That is a tough one to sell to, hey, you want to go to a game in August? That's a tough one to sell to season ticket holders. That's tough.
No, it is tough, but if you're not gonna win this year, there's no point in having them around if you're not gonna re-sign. You gotta get something back, invest in the future.
Yep. And talking about future, let's talk a little bit about statistics. We saw Manny Machado kind of go off a little bit about the WCVVB plus that apparently was on the scoreboard where he was watching. Has some opinions there, and it's creating a lot of noise. And I get why. It's analytics are a huge part of the game. If you watch the movie Moneyball, we're seeing it happen right in front of our eyes, kind of taking over the game. Are stats ruining the game of baseball?
So this was kind of weird for me because I remember when Machado was the up and coming young guy in baseball, and now it's almost like he's kind of the old man yelling at stuff now, like the grumpy old man. So I'm gonna say strike it here. I don't think analytics or stats or whatever you want to say is ruining baseball. But now I will say Machado's been in the league forever. He knows what to do. Amazing career, probably a Hall of Famer, regardless of how you feel about him. But I can see where the stats would get too much because I do believe there are probably some organizations who at times probably rely on it much too heavily. And he's a guy that's been around, he knows what he's doing, and so it probably is frustrating. But I want to say that for Manny Machado to sound off on this, he's really just mad that he's having a sucky year. That's what this comes down to. I didn't hear him complaining at all when he's having an 850 OPS or whatever and getting MVP votes. I think this is just a burst of frustration for Machado, if I had to say. What about you, Dior?
I mean, let me list the lowest. So Manny Machado has a 169 batting average right now. Let me tell you all the names that have a lower batting average than Manny Machado. That's it right there. That's him. That's the list. Manny Machado is the lowest batting average in baseball. Like, of course he doesn't like what his fucking WOBA is. He doesn't like seeing all the stats because everything up there is going to look really bad. So I get it completely that he doesn't like it. But to go off on the point of like, is it ruining baseball? I think that's a great question to ask because I think we've gotten to the point where they are getting past the point of like the feel of the game. Right? There is more to baseball than just what a number shows. Like WAR is a great number, and I think it tells you a ton, but doesn't tell you everything about what a player does. No, I think honestly, there needs to be more stats created that bring in like spots of leverage and what like how good is he in situations. Again, I'm no mathematician here, but sometimes like there's a lot of stats and it can get overwhelming. But I actually think with Machado, it's a weird take because just because you don't understand what the stat means doesn't mean it's a bad stat. And that's what I feels like. It's like, okay, but like if you understood, like he was talking about FIP, he's like, why does FIP matter? It's like, that's why Dylan Cease made a bunch of money this last year was because of FIP. He's had a bad ERA. He hasn't been an ERA guy, but the stats showed that like, hey, if you give him a good defense, he's going to K a fuck ton of people. And when he does that, he's going to be a good pitcher. What's he done this year? Shoved. I mean, there's stats can show you a lot of the story. And to ignore that is very like, nah. Like, oh, man, me and back in the day, we didn't care about old puss plus. Like, come on.
Old piss plus. Yeah, look, there can be a healthy mix of both. Like I think it's important to have both, and to just outright, kind of deny all analytics and stats is a little bit ignorant in my opinion. I mean, they certainly help and they can certainly provide a guideline, but I get the eye test and all that stuff can still be prevalent too. There can be a little bit of both. This was just Manny Machado. He's frustrated with how things are going, and so he picks something to target on, and that's where he lasered focused his anger at, and that's what we saw right there.
Hey, when you're slumping, man. When you're slumping, you're slumping. I get it. Like and like the first thing you're gonna want to do when things are going bad is pull out the old finger guns and point them to the closest person. It just had to be the Petco fucking scoreboard. Is what it had.
The Petco scoreboard.
Yeah, that's what it had to be. That's who was fucking worn out that day. But yeah, because I mean, coming from a baseball nerd right here, hand up, I love me some stats. They do tell you the story of what's going on. It fills in a lot of the. I think everyone's kind of understood now where the numbers where it's like, okay, because I remember like when OPS first showed up, like on like when I remember it was probably like I remember seeing it with Ryan Braun. That's like my memory. Ryan Braun was up probably like 8-9 years ago, and it didn't show his average first. It showed his OPS first, and that was like the first time I was like, oh, like this is now we're officially being like. This is what's the most important because for the longest time it was batting average, which of course is important. It does tell you the story, but it doesn't tell you the entire story. So that's what these numbers are for. They're just trying to fill in the gaps of like, okay, let's think. Let's just Luis Renifo and Ian Happ could both be batting 222 this year. That doesn't tell you who's a better player. Guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to find other numbers to tell you who's really better. And that's all that this is.
Yeah, 222 with 10 homers and 20 walks is a lot more valuable than 222 with 1 homer and 5 walks. Like there can be a big difference between if you have the same batting average for sure.
Yeah. And that's where it comes down to where it's because again, for the people, and I think that's a lot of times with the pushback on the numbers is they're upset about them because they don't understand them.
Yeah.
If you understood them, you could then take your own opinion and be like, okay, but that doesn't really matter. But it's different when you say it doesn't matter simply because you just don't you're like, I don't want to know. Yeah. I don't need to know that. Just show me batting average.
It's annoying. I'm gonna be honest. It is.
That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel about it. But stats are great and they can be bad, but I think the finger guns came out for Manny Machado.
Yep.
Let's go over our league leaders here, guys. Got a lot of interesting topics here. So, first of all, oh shoot, I missed our ad read. I missed our ad read. We have Dabble. What am I doing?
Make guys, that money deal.
Guys, we gotta Dabble deep dive. It's time to deep dive. Thanks to our sponsor, Dabble. If you haven't downloaded Dabble yet, now's the time. They're giving us $10 just for signing up when you use our code BSBLR. That's BSBLR, BSBLR. The cool part is, guys, once you use the app, you can actually follow us, copy every single one of our bets that we run throughout the season and the playoffs. It's the best DFS app out there. If you want to take more or less on a player's hits, runs, RBIs, home runs, anything like that, you can do that. Follow us, download it now, and let's ride. Thanks to BSBLR, $10 of free play, BSBLR. But we're Dabble deep diving on an interesting scenario that happened just earlier this week. Mr. Brayan Bello with the Boston Red Sox. He just got sent down, if you guys saw that, but there's a little bit more to it than him just being sent down. He was saying, quote unquote, I'll just read the quote. So he was asked about, would he be okay coming out of the bullpen? He's struggled this year. He's got an ERA in the 6s, just hasn't been what the Red Sox are looking for, especially from a guy who's been good his whole career. First of all, just stop talking about bullpen and starting games. I've always been a starter. And when I've been successful as a starter, no one's questioning whether I would have to be in the bullpen or starting games. So starting from there, just stop that talk. I'm just having a bad season. What are your thoughts on this here, Mr. Bryce?
So first off, I am a Red Sox fan, been one my whole life. I've seen Bello pitch plenty of times in person, and I am a Brayan Bello fan. But look, a few years ago, the talk around Boston, this guy's the next Pedro. Like, that's what he was billed at. Red Sox gave him a pretty sizable contract extension. It was one of those, we'll cover all the arbitration years and a little bit of free agency. And so it's like, okay, this guy's billed as the future, signed him to the contract. He is our future ace. And then it started looking like he's really a 3 or a 4. And then this year it's looking like he doesn't even belong in the starting rotation. So it's just troubling. He does always look like he looks like the mental side of baseball is an issue for him. I mean, we saw it the other day. Chad Tracy went to take him out, and he's just shaking his head. No, No, don't take me out. And like it's like you're showing up your teammates on the field. You're showing up your team. I didn't really like that. He's always seemed to let the mental, like he gives up a homer or a hit, and then we see a long, drawn out inning where he throws 30 pitches. We see it all the time with him. And then this season was just weird. And but what happened and it started working is they would have an opener for him come in, pitch a couple innings, and then they would bring him in. He'd throw 5 or 6 innings and look great. But it's like I don't know if he didn't like that or the Red Sox didn't like it because then they stopped doing it and then he's getting blown up again against the Orioles. And then we get this comment and then a demotion to AAA. So very weird. I'm not sure what Bello wants. I'm not sure what the team's direction is because they were doing an opener and it was working, and then they quit and then he got blown up again. So very weird. Like I don't know what the future holds for Brayan Bello. I don't know what the Red Sox want to do with him. Just a weird scenario.
Yeah, and I think the number one thing I'll say with this is to be a successful Major League Baseball player, whether you're a pitcher or a hitter, you have to have this like delusional level of confidence. That is a must. I really think that's a thing. But there is a line to this, and especially what you're saying. He can think this, but you lose leverage when you stink. You lose all leverage. Like you're saying, like, because think about this. You were saying like where who's nodding off the pitcher. You didn't like that. Jacob Mizrowski is getting a lot of credit for doing that same thing. But the difference is one guy is balling the fuck out. One guy is getting shit on. So you lose all leverage when you're not pitching well. Like you don't have much room to talk, Bello, with a 6.5 ERA and a negative 1.5 WAR for our stats guys out there. Thank you. What's up? What's up? Appreciate you guys.
Sorry, Manny.
Sorry, Manny. This WCVVB plus is actually great this year. But I mean, when it comes down to it, you lose leverage when you're not pitching good. He's not pitching good at all. He doesn't have the say to be like, hey, I'm not a bullpen arm. I cannot. And then again, just like you're saying, not being a team guy, that adds right into that. It's like, hey, the answer there, the PR answer is, I'll do whatever I need to do to help my team win. Whether you believe it or fucking not, that's probably what you should have said there, Brayan Bello. But now you're right. You are a starter for Worcester. And because they sent your ass down to AAA, and I get it. Like obviously, if Craig Breslow's talked about this, anyone the Red Sox talk about this, they're like, hey, he needs to work on some stuff. That's why we sent him down. The comments had nothing to do with it. But let's be real. There are humans in that front office, and they knew that wasn't the right thing to say either. There's a multitude of reasons why he's getting sent out.
Yeah, there definitely is. And I could argue he says the right things. I just want to help my team win. And he still probably should have gotten a demotion. I mean, exactly. I think the demotion does say that they believe in him maybe as a starter in the future. And so they want him to go down and work as a starter. And look, Bello's still well under 30. He's got the big contract. He's been good in the past, just a little shaky. But he's put it together before. He's even had some good baseball this season. So it's totally not over for him by any means. And we could still see him carve out a nice career and a nice career in Boston as well. It's not over.
100%. But that's just how we work. Everyone, it's game by game. I think we all forget. I forget too. I'll hand up where I'm wrong. We play game by game and get way too frustrated. I've been getting frustrated a lot lately watching baseball. So I get it. We got to remember, it's June 8th, guys. It's June 8th. So much more baseball's yet to play. Don't think about next year and what might happen. Don't want to think about that. Don't look towards the future. Let's live in June 8th right now, Bryce. Let's live June 8th. All right, guys. All right. It's June 8th. There's the June 8th league leaders. We're going to go over them right here. There's some interesting ones on, that I found out on here. A lot of good topics that we can come off of this. Starting in the AL, let's start with batting average. We have our boy Yandy Diaz batting 325. That guy's just a dog, man. That guy's just a dog. And home runs, speaking of dogs, Yordan Alvarez has 22 Yordongs this year, leading the league. RBI leader, you bet. Yordong again, 48 RBIs. OPS leader, guess what? You know it. Yordan Alvarez with a 1.081. Is that good? You like that? Yeah, he's a pretty good player. Stolen bases leader. Yordan. I'm just kidding. So, imagine that. Yordan going like 50-50 this year. That'd be pretty sick. All right, stolen base leader. It's a tie right now. Jose Ramirez, hip, hip. Jose, 23 with Bobby Witt. Tied with him at that 23 mark. Let's move on to some pitching in the American League. ERA leader Cam Schlittler, even after a rough start against the Guardians, still doing pretty good. 1.87 right now. Wins leader Gavin Williams. Did you expect that one? Not me. 9 wins this year. Strikeout leader. Also, Gavin Williams, 94. Maybe let's keep an eye on this guy right here. That's pretty incredible stuff right there. Saves leader, Cade Smith. Is this just the Guardians list? Is it Guardians list? 21 saves for Cade Smith. Moving on to the National League. Batting average leader. The best looking rat I've ever seen in my life. Brandon Mark batting 338. Just they said every 2 innings he puts 2 bottles of water through his hair. That check up on your friends, guys. Make sure you give them a call. Make sure they're doing okay. All right, Kyle Schwarber is our home run leader with 23 bombs. RBI leader 53 with Andy Page's Pajes. That guy, what a year he's having. OPS leader Shohei Ohtani, 939 OPS. Guys, he also has a sub-1 ERA. Just like that. I think sometimes we forget, but that guy is something out of this fucking world. Stolen bases leader, Nasim Nunez, 23, your favorite Washington National. Pitching, our wins leader this year is Aaron Ashby. Baseball's weird. 9 wins for our reliever, Aaron Ashby. That just can't stay. Chris Sale, you were saying, is on his tail. It's probably going to.
No, I believe.
It's the year of the Ashby. It's the year of the Ashby. ERA leader, we have Christopher Sanchez at a 1.46. Guy's pretty good as well. Want to hear another good guy? Our strikeout leader, my NL Cy Young favorite right now, Jacob Mizorowski, has 116 strikeouts. Incredible. And lastly, our saves leader, Mason Blind by Corn Miller at 18. What are your thoughts on our list we have here, Bryce?
So I know it's trendy right now to talk about, National League Cy Young, but is Gavin Williams, separating himself from the pack this year? I mean, is he? Yeah, I know we've got Schlittler, he's right there, but can he hang on for the whole season? Gavin Williams got a little bit more experience. I think that's interesting. And then it looks like Yordan Alvarez is going to make a run for MVP here.
I mean, that guy can hit. The guy can hit. I mean, I'm looking at Williams right now. 3.20 ERA, 94 strikeouts. That's a 10.4 K per 9 right there. Pretty low whip. His FIP is 3.55, so it's pretty realistic. It's not like he's getting super lucky. I mean, he's missing a lot of bats. You're missing a lot of bats. Good things happen. I just remember the book on Gavin Williams was he walks a lot of guys. Here's maybe the story. Last year, he had a 4.5 walks per 9. This year, 2.8. Cut that down.
Wow. I mean, that could be the key to the success right there. Seriously.
So, yeah, I mean, Schlittler's got to be your favorite right now, but who knows what happens? He's got to be in that conversation, especially, I mean, talking old school stats like wins, but still a guy with the most strikeouts winning games for a team like the Guardians. I think that has to be some context. I'm a type of guy that there was a stretch for a long time where people were like, wins aren't important. And do I think they are the end all be all most important thing?
It's turning now.
No, it is turning. It is turning. Because think the less that starters go, how many starters are pitching 5 strong every time?
Yeah.
Not as many as there was 10 years ago. So where I think it's starting to flip back a little bit more. Again, not saying it's the most important. A lot of important stats that go into pitching that paint the story. Thanks to our analytics team. Appreciate you guys. Manny, not so much. But regardless, if you're getting wins for a team like the Guardians who can't score runs, it's that's some context.
And I will say, if a guy, if you're looking at the back of a baseball card or baseball reference here, and a guy goes 21-5, is that not exciting? Is something like that still not exciting? 20 wins from a starter is still cool, in my opinion.
Yeah. There's just, again, the other stats will tell you the story, but there's no way that wasn't somewhat of a dominant season. There's no 20-win guy.
You don't see a bad 20-win season.
Yeah. There's something good cooking with Gavin Williams right now, and that's exciting. That's exciting. I'm trying to look at this list and see if there's anything for me that gets me fired up. Honestly, it's the Shohei Ohtani, and I know that might sound boring, but to really we get bored sometimes. I think we just Shohei.
There he goes again, having one of the best seasons of all time. There he goes.
Can we just stop for a moment and realize this guy has the highest OPS in the National League and the lowest ERA in the National League?
It's impressive.
What the fuck are we talking about, Bryce? What the fuck are we talking about? That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And I don't know if he qualifies for the innings yet, but if he qualifies for the innings, that just I know it's June 8th and let's live in the now, but that guy's a walking MVP this year.
He's gonna
unless he
be
gets hurt. That's it.
He's gonna be one of those mythical like figures they talk about in 100 years, like we talk about Babe Ruth. Like that's what he is. I mean, there's no denying it. Like he's gonna be a legend in 100 years, like Babe Ruth is for us.
And
It's amazing.
100%. And I have people talk to me about it, or I hear conversations. They'll be like, "Oh, there'll be like another Otani." I'm like, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Like, if this is like one of those things where it's like, I don't think in the history of ever we will, because it was this perfect scenario. You know, he comes up through Japan. I think if he's born in Los Angeles, we don't see it. We don't see it simply because at some point, some coach would be like, hey, you do one or you do the other. We see that with everybody, no matter how dominant they are. We see dominant two-way guys in college all of the time. We see even like Skeens type of players. But at some point, they're like, hey, Skeens, you're going to be the best pitcher in baseball. Put the bat down. But they never did in Japan, so he comes over here. So it's this perfect scenario that we get to see play out and be unbelievable. Even when it like, because I remember they were like, he's like a high school level hitter, is what they said when he first came in.
I remember that article. Thank goodness the Angels let him do both. Thank goodness.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes scouts can be wrong, folks. Sometimes scouts can be wrong. Incredible. But guys, thank you for tuning in. That is us yapping. That is your 26 minutes and 30 seconds. We're going to, the extra 3.5 minutes, go get a coffee. Go listen to Lifestyle by, what would that be? I'm trying to think who sings that. That is Young Thug and
Rich Homie Quan or
Rich
something.
Homie Quan. Rich Homie Quan. Listen
Rest
to that.
in peace.
R.I.P. my homie Quan. Didn't think he was going to catch a reference today, a feature in the BSBLR Show. He will get 10% of all royalties from Dabble. Thanks to our sponsor, Dabble. $10 of free play. Use code BSBLR, BSBLR. But thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram, our social medias. Subscribe to us on YouTube. But that's all we got for you today, guys. Peace.